this is Todd back again. We just did, as you know, a live tasting at Buffalo Trace. Make sure our camera's sitting straight. There we go. And we are now in Lexington, Kentucky. Get this up a little higher. Lexington, Kentucky, at a distillery and brewing facility. They do both. It's called the Lexington Brewery and Distilling, and they have several barrel-aged brews, plus several bourbons, rums. I think she said they had a gin and a few other things. But in a little bit here, Stacy, she's helping customers right now.
From Iowa.
Is actually she's from Iowa, from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, working here in the visitor center.
19 years
At in Lexington. She's been here how long? 19 years she's been working here, so she sounds like she's been here from the beginning. But she's going to tell us about some of her different brews. They've got quite a few. They've got Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale, and they've got coffee, Winter Golden, Vanilla Barrel, Irish Red, which is really good. And what's interesting with their coffee, they have a coffee ale, and I think it was a coffee cream beer. So that was all really good stuff. And they do have several different bourbons and a lot of award-winning bourbons. So, but anyway, if anybody is familiar with Buffalo Trace, we had some really good tastings there, and their bourbon cream is something I've never tried before. So that was some really good stuff, and I think we can make some fun products with that. And they mixed it with some of their root beer, and it made kind of a root beer float. But something that was really special. We was able to purchase at a very good price a bottle of Blanton's bourbon. So maybe we'll have a few friends over to try some of that really good stuff. But anyway, it looks like Stacy is helping a customer there real quick. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is kind of go over a couple of the other things that they have here. Stacy was telling us about they actually also have moonshine. Some of you have seen that the different moonshines we've done. But they have a straight moonshine, a apple orchard moonshine, and a bonfire, and also a mountain flower. And she'll have to explain. Oh, it was an elderberry, is what it was. And then on top of their moonshines, they have over here, that's one of their bourbons, and she'll be able to explain that to us. There's a whiskey. That's Town Branch. This is a member also of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. And they actually have an outlet in Ireland where they have some Irish whiskey. You see there's several different ones there. And then they have some others that Stacy can tell us about. And this is their rye, and once again a bourbon there. And then they have, this is their gin, and a Caribbean style rum. And then they had this was a coffee bourbon cream, I think. Yeah, it's a vanilla, it's a whiskey bourbon with grain neutral spirits, vanilla, and coffee. So that sounds really tasty to actually put into a beer. But we'll get some more of some of their awards that they have from their Kentucky IPA. They have a vanilla cream ale. A lot of good stuff. Also, I think it's fairly new, is their tea. They have a bourbon barrel original hard iced tea, and another bourbon barrel, a half and half iced tea and lemonade for like one of those shandies for in the summer. some more of their ales. All right, I think some more of their awards. And I think Stacy is probably just about ready. All right, buying the T-shirt. It looks like. All right, well, this is Stacy.
And we can't see smiles.
Yeah. Since we're all doing the COVID thing with the masks, but Stacy is from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. But you've been here in Lexington 19 years, I think I heard.
Well, no, longer than that. But I've been with the company 19 years.
Okay.
Here's your receipt in your bag. There you go.
Well, if you've got a little bit of time,
Yeah, I
can
do.
you tell us about some of your different.
Do you want me to walk around so they can actually see the visitor center, or kind of see what they?
Well, let's talk about your stouts and beers and your reds and all that real quick.
All right. First and foremost, what we're mostly known for is our bourbon barrel ale, which is here. This starts out as our Irish Red, which is an English pale and Irish red ale. It's 5.3% alcohol, and then what we do is we put that into a bourbon barrel that we receive from around central Kentucky for about 6 to 10 weeks.
Okay.
So we age that actually in our facility that's about a mile down the road. So we have a facility that holds about 6,000 barrels, and that's all beer barrels that are aging. Our next one is going to be our coffee barrel stout. That has been aged in a bourbon barrel as well. It's going to have, it's going to be produced with ground coffee and then aged with whole bean in the barrel as it ages, 6 to 10 weeks again. The one important thing that I forgot to tell you about the Irish Red is that I may have said this, but it's a 5.3% alcohol, and as it ages, it gets to 8.2%.
Ooh, okay.
The bourbon, I mean, talking from somebody that's had about 50 of those, 50 bottles of that stuff is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It isn't, I don't know if you've had it yet.
I have, and I kind of make some of my own. I use a stout and I add bourbon to it.
Oh, okay.
And but that's getting to be really popular.
Yeah, well, for the longest time I couldn't get it in Michigan. Now a few stores are actually selling that, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, that stuff, that, especially if it's cold, really is.
Absolutely.
So, man.
The next two ones that we have that are kind of new, are becoming people's new favorites, is the Vanilla Barrel Cream Ale. Now the creaminess is going to come from a cornflake that you add in that mash tun. That as well as going to be aged in a bourbon barrel when we pull the bourbon barrel ale out.
Okay.
So it doesn't increase that much in alcohol. It's a 5.5. Madagascar vanilla bean as well, but that's where you get that creaminess from. It's just a creamy consistency.
So what's the difference between the coffee stout and the coffee barrel cream ale?
The stark difference between those two is your coffee barrel stout is going to be darker because it's made with a roasted barley, malted barley. So you get a lot of those toffee flavors and that dark flavor from the malted barley. The one with the coffee cream ale is it's just like your vanilla barrel, except for they remove the vanilla barrel, the bean, and put coffee, so that you get a little bit more of a bitter note to it, so it's not as sweet to it. So those are our barrel aged products as well. Now we do come up with seasonals every now and then. So our winter seasonal was the Winter Golden Stout, which is a golden stout, and coffee nibs. It's been aged in a barrel of coffee nibs.
Okay.
Or cocoa nibs. Sorry. And then we also have non-barrel aged beers as well.
Okay. Now you talked about some of your different bourbons and Irish whiskeys. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Come around here real quick.
Hi. How are you? Good. How are you? Good.
Do you have anything to sell here with that you don't?
Yeah, bourbons that we don't sell.
That you don't sell along?
Yes, ma'am.
Because that could be considered that is necessary.
Okay, no problem. If you want to look around in the unicorns, I'll finish up. All right, so what I'm going to start with is our bourbon. This is a 4-year bourbon. We also have a 10-year bourbon. One of our first barrels that we laid down, it's a single barrel. We also have a single malt whiskey. It's a 7-year single malt whiskey, and then we have a rye, and that is 55% rye.
Okay.
So with ours, you're going to get a little bit more of those sweet notes because it has a larger content of the corn. Now with bourbon, you probably know all the requirements for bourbon.
Yes.
Obviously, all right. So we're a little bit above that threshold, obviously. We have a sister distillery in Ireland. So these are your Irish whiskeys. These are a blend as well. Irish are very keen on gin. So we have several gins that are available. We have a mill gin, which is more of your botanicals. We have the Hay Penny Rhubarb, which is absolutely fabulous. And then the Hay Penny Dublin Dry Gin. You're going to get more of those botanicals as well as with anise and licorice bark. So you're going to get more of that licorice flavor through that one. And then we have a single malt Irish whiskey. It's a 5-year.
Okay.
That was pulled off. And then we have moonshines from our
Yeah, your moonshine, and that's made on another location.
in Pikeville, Kentucky. We have a location there, and it's based off the Hatfield and McCoy story.
Oh,
They're
okay.
twin families. So we have the original, and our apple orchard is nice creamy or caramel apple flavor, and then bonfire, which is cinnamon, and then the mountain flower, which is elderberry
Okay.
flower.
And then a gin and a rum.
So we have a rum. Back when Dr. Lyons was here, Angus Distillery, he asked to bring some rum here. We put it into a bourbon barrel, so it's kind of like a bourbon flavored rum.
Okay.
And then our Bluegrass Unknown is a coffee infused bourbon concentrate. It's a nice dessert drink, a play kind of like an Irish coffee. Dr. Lyons wanted to bring a little bit that year. And then we also have a gin as well. Those are
Okay.
the traditional flavors, except for we went a step further and did nutmeg, orange and lemon slices, and the Kentucky coneflower, which is acadation.
Okay. All right. Well, it looks like you've got some customers coming in, and we're going to let you get back to doing the rest of your job. But thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And enjoy. I think you're traveling back to Cedar Rapids soon.
Absolutely, at the end of the
So enjoy the time. It's really hot there now, but it's hot here too. But enjoy your time, and thank you so much for doing this.
You're welcome.
You bet.